I'm Daniela Vilena, and this is my evidence to art as a possibility of dialogue in conflict resolution. The selection of group of art, it was Benin Bronzes, the museum in which it is located, British Museum. The current nation where they are located is the United Kingdom, and the country of origin is Nigeria. The reason for choosing it was thanks to how I started my research. I started researching in a general way, and I found the article in Semana, Did Europe Steal Art from Its Colonies? Here I found out that the British Museum is the one that most demands have for stolen art. Quickly, we take a look at its history, which is based on an empire that colonized and conquered several countries. In this way, not only in the museum but also through the country, there are various items that are the cultural heritage of these countries colonized, and therefore make the museum a place with a cultural diversity, which we should ask ourselves what is so. The origin of the conflict, it was because the Nigeria's coast and trade routes were dominated by the United Kingdom at the end of the 19th century, and with the goal of expanding its territorial domain, the British sent a friendly expedition to the Kingdom of Benin, which it ended with the death of some British delegates. This began with the bloody reprisal of 1897, and in this way they seized not only territorial the city of Benin, but also objects looted from palaces and sanctuaries, and within this they looted more than 900 plates of bronze that decorated the royal palace. These plates are important history records, as they are illustration of the traditional practices of the history of the Kingdom of Benin. The effects on the Nigerian identity is that already the fact of having a brutal conquest like this leaves consequences in history and therefore in the identity of Nigerians. But we also have these false rumors that around 1816, where the British narrative exposes the Kingdom of Benin as a barbaric, pagan, and violent state, where they have to be civilized under colonial rule. However, several years later, when the artifacts are exhibited in the museum, they find a contradiction, since the Benin bronzes and other artifacts were considered exquisite and highly developed art. Something didn't agree with the humors, even later its veracity were doubted, and if they didn't help from European visitors. Over the time, it was assimilated that magnificent art was obtained thanks to the slaughter of a magnificent culture. It is clear that these artistic representations must be returned to their place of origin, since Nigeria in 2021 requested the return of these pieces by a letter. But it is enough. In the letter, the Ministry of Information and Culture described by carrying away these antiquities, the nation of Nigeria is denied and deprived of her cultural essence. Our palaces and museums are empty. So the possible solution is that although the British Museum is currently taking measures and the transition of the Benin bronzes are being negotiated, I believe that a commemorative and farewell event for these pieces should be held. An event where not only these bronzes are present, but also contemporary art from Nigeria who expresses the consequences of his cultural identity when heritage pieces were looted. In this way, empathy for the British is generated, and it is a way of assuring that such a violent event does not happen again. Public apologies should also be offered for his cultural looting, and finally, the profits generated by these views of these events should be directed to the Nigerian government in order to preserve these pieces in a current state.